Is Ripple and XRP positioned to compete with JP Morgan? Paul Barron, Sal Galberti talk about this specifically. Plus, I have everything Ripple needs to do to actually compete at scale. We also have a ton of new live information about spot ETFs and what's to come next week, as well as we are preparing for the ISO migration weekend. What to expect? I have everything in this video. Let's go.
They are building literally I said it before, a JP Morgan rival once they get their banking license. They're going to be incredibly well capitalized. Why would they want to sell XRP? They're going to want to hold on to that. As it goes up in value, they could sell some clearly, sure. I just think that Ripple is a machine. It is a highly disciplined team that is, they don't all have to agree on things, and some of them leave to go here or go there. They sure all leave and go somewhere related. So whether it's a master plan or more likely it's really creative people that work as a team, and they all have different paths that their lives take them on, but they stay in the ecosystem and they're creating a bigger ecosystem, a more robust ecosystem. I just think Ripple is at the center of the universe. And so Brad says XRP, he's being modest with Ripple.
Ripple is at the center of the universe. So let's better understand what Ripple would need to do to be able to compete with JP Morgan. So getting their banking license is one part. Just looking at what they've done over the last few years, this is the acquisitions that Ripple has made. So payments and settlement, of course, RippleNet RLUSD, custody and tokenization, Medico and standard custody, risk and cash management, of course, G Treasury. You have the prime brokerage and liquidity, Hidden Road, which is now Ripple Prime. And then, of course, stablecoin and off-ramp payments. This is 10% of global business to business payments. Rail does facilitate that. And of course, regulated infrastructure, Fortress Trust. Now, looking here, they also have a Palisade too, right? And then Ripple getting their banking license is one part, but they are still missing a few things that they would need to acquire. One of those is a securities exchange, or ATS, which is an alternative trading systems. Ripple Stack lacks a regulated trading venue for tokenized assets. Buying or launching an ATS or DEX with regulated approval would let them host trading of tokenized assets, equities, and repos integrated with the XRP ledger. They would also need some type of payment processing network, such as a Stripe or WorldPay, to give an examples, credit, lending, and asset management division, and compliance identity infrastructure. So there are a few pieces that I would say Ripple is going to look to acquire. Don't be shocked if you see some more acquisitions over the next 6 to 12 months. They are making moves and preparing for what comes next. Now, what is going on next week here? We have 21 shares XRP ETF loading. Here was filed here in January 2025. You see Pro shares, you got Tucrim, you got MEMX XRP ETF. So a lot of things happening. 21 shares saying XRP Army, get ready. You also have here Paul Barron sitting down with Stephen McClurg from Canary Capital. Let me play this for you.
Let's not walk away from it. I mean, altcoins absolutely got decimated last week. So including XRP, which could open up, because there's been a lot of people in speculation that this validation from Wall Street into the XRP ETF has only made that token stronger in terms of people actually starting to say, hey, maybe XRP is a thing. Are you finding that sentiment out there in the market?
I really am. XRP, I'm really going to point to three that I'm focused on right now. And one of them is XRP. Wall Street's really paying attention. You've got, obviously there's a lot happening in that ecosystem. There's a lot happening with the XRP ledger that's extremely positive, but that's all, financial rails. And
what are we talking about here? We're talking about the EVM sidechain being able to connect with 55 plus blockchains. We are talking about tokenization of financial products. We are talking about stable coins and creating more and more financial institutions partnering with Ripple in the repo market, right? Smart contract functionality development. There are so many active developments happening around the XRP ledger that it is mind-boggling. I'm trying to keep up with it all. I don't know how you guys are doing it at home. I hope this channel allows you to still have a life and yet be connected to all of the information. Just want to say it's always an honor to share my passion and love of XRP with you every single day. Thank you for your support. It does mean the world to me. All right, Deanna says, Franklin Templeton and Grayscale XRP ETFs approved on New York Stock Exchange, expected to go live Monday, November 24th. I just bought $4,000 more of XRP just now. And if it goes down a little bit more over the weekend, I will allocate more money to buy more XRP. Both Franklin Templeton and Grayscale's XRP ETFs have now received official New York Stock Exchange ACRA approval for listing under the Exchange Act of 1934. The final green light they needed based on the timing of these approvals. Both ETFs are now expected to go live Monday, November 24th. What volumes do you expect to see these two giants going live with? And remember, the reason this is important, like we've seen some great volume with Canary and Bitwise, but there are financial people, institutions that bank at these specific institutions, and they are waiting for the products that they want to participate in. Remember, everybody has maybe a favorite bank. They have their loans or their mortgages or they bank with. And so when their bank offers those products, their financial institutions offer those products, that's when they jump in. It'll be very interesting to see what BlackRock decides to do. Are they going to get in? Are they going to have the customer demand going forward? And what is that going to look like? I'm on pins and needles. Hunter Horsley here says the Bitwise XRP ETF is now the highest volume XRP ETF in the US. Okay. Are we going to do this like when we have days where your ETF outpaces everybody else's? You're like, we're the best in the US now. Hey, you need the marketing, you need the hype. I get it. It's all good. But, let's do like a week or a month or, 6 months of volume and then claim that you're the highest and the best. But I get, and everybody's excited here. They want to stand out. Here's Bitwise for 21 million and here's Canary for almost 13 million. So every day we're seeing 30, 40, $50 million being invested in this, and there's a lot of people who are excited. Now, I thought this was interesting, and I wanted to bring this to your attention. Here's what I am seeing on the 4-year cycles. Common view, people believe in 4-year cycles, and that 2026 will thus be down year for Bitcoin. First order effect, people thus sell in 2025 to avoid the market down year. Second order effect, the 2025 sellers caused 2025 to be a down year, thus breaking the 4-year cycles. Third order effect, 2026 is open season. The 4-year cycle's broken. This is a very interesting outlook, and I think that is well said. There's a lot of people that thought 2024 was going to be groundbreaking year for crypto. I think the lack of regulation here, the lack of getting that bill finally across the finish line has kind of caused this stall moment. The liquidity crash that we just experienced last month, that was catastrophic for the market. And I also was having a conversation with a dear close friend today. We think the pump funds of the world have really affected the entire crypto market. Think of how much money has been lost to scams and meme tokens in 2024 and 2025. It is just mind-boggling, right? I think when you take a look at this, it's going to be tens of billions of dollars in retail funds lost. And this is why our favorite altcoins haven't yet done what they're supposed to do. And this is the reason why I am specifically just investing in a few things right now. I am not going to go out there and play the entire field of this and that. I'm focused on my XRP. I'm focused on a few other things. And that is all I care about at this moment. I am going all in on my knowledge, my passion, my love, and support for this community. There is no greater community than the XRP community, and I will stand by that statement every single day. Chad Steingrammer says on the new element that we can't know until the fund managers post the numbers is the in-kind share creation. This is when investors can deposit their actual XRP into the fund and receive shares equivalent. Now, my thing is, why would you do this, right? Like, why would you take your XRP and put it into a fund to get a share of something? Just keep your XRP. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor and you need to do what you think is best, but my first thing was I'll rather have the XRP than a share that represents XRP any day. And I think a lot of you feel that same way. If you're looking to see maybe what is best for you, talk with the financial advisor. I know that's maybe something that I don't know. My thing is, I am not a financial advisor. And if somebody can actually give you good advice to help you set up your future in retirement, isn't it worth a phone call? Or maybe they charge you $100 or $200 for the meeting. Think about, the information that they give you could change your life. So I think it is valuable to even think about it and have that conversation. And hopefully hopefully that will do you good. Make sure that they understand crypto though, okay? And then also looking here, the weekend marks a major milestone in payments. The coexistence period between MT and ISO 20022 message standard ends from 2022 November to from 22nd November 2025. All FI to FI payment instruction messages will be delivered in the ISO format. Now, we've already seen millions of payments happening per day with the ISO format. Crypto hasn't been used on a wide range of this. We don't have a way to track if this payment was used with crypto and this payment wasn't. Having the ability to have RippleNet and XRP being used is going to be really helpful. Now, financial institutions are all forced. This is really helpful to Ripple because it forces every financial institution in the world to upgrade their messaging standard to this new technology that would allow crypto payments. That is a big deal because you know Ripple really doesn't have to do anything to force everybody to upgrade their infrastructure. And so if banks and financial institutions don't do this into 2026, they could get fined or banned from the entire system. And that is kind of exciting. And then here you go. Here is Swift. This weekend marks the major milestone. We talked about this already. ISO 20022 brings richer data, better compliance, and improved automation. But preparation is key to avoid NACT messages and operational delays. Be prepared for the weekend. All Fin and Fin Plus users are strongly advised to not send any message from Saturday 1500 GMT till Sunday 5 GMT. And check the Swift knowledge base for full details and troubleshooting guidelines. I'm going to have a complete video on ISO and what to expect the same day that you see this video. Should come out on Saturday. And so yeah, look out for that. It'll be a lot of really good information. And so if you're wondering just how Ripple and ISO and XRP play a role, let me just give you a taste of this. Ripple's infrastructure and native XRP token are well positioned to benefit from global financial industry's transition to ISO 20022 messaging, but there is an important distinctions in how compliance is defined and applied in practice. RippleNet's enterprise payment network has aligned with ISO 20022 since Ripple joined the standards body in 2020, making it one of the first distributed ledger technology networks to do so. RippleNet is technically advanced in supporting ISO 20022 compatible messaging, which allows banks and financial institutions to transact, settle using structured rich data, improving efficiency, interoperability, and transparency across payment workflows. This positions Ripple as a preferred infrastructure partner for institutions migrating away from Swift and MT standards. XRP's role as the native digital asset in Ripple's ecosystem is not directly ISO compliant. It is in the strictest regulatory or certification sense. The messaging standard applies to the data formats, not the cryptocurrencies or their ledgers. However, RippleNet can utilize XRP as a bridge currency for instant settlement, fully supports ISO 20022. This compatibility means XRP can serve as a fast, efficient option for cross-border payments, required standard compliant message data. Don't expect the XRP price to explode. I've been telling you this for the past 6 or 12 months. I've seen a ton of people misdiagnose what's about to happen here on the 22nd, and that's just a lack of knowledge and understanding. You know, everybody should be advancing their knowledge every day, learning and growing. And when we maybe don't understand something fully, we need to take the time to do that before we go out here and just share it with the community. And so I try to do that every single day. I try to, you know, in real time, update my knowledge and give you the latest and best information around the XRP space. Anyways, I'll leave it there. Have a fantastic weekend. It is such a great honor to be on this journey with you. I will see you next time. I'm Crypto Sensei. Aloha.